Hi, it's Cindy with the Port Huron Recreation Department. Today we're going to make a leaf turkey for the kids this time, and then we're going to make some corn out of beads and uh, little twisty pipe cleaners. And if you have your stuff handy, let's get started. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've got leaves here that I pressed a few weeks ago. I had mentioned it in one of the projects that I did previously. It was the watercolor leaf with the resist, and I mentioned that it'd be good to save some leaves and press them, get them all dried up for another project. I dried these because it's a little easier to work with flat leaves when you're using glue. These are glued down now. See how they lay flat. The only thing about pressing leaves that were alive is that sometimes they get a little moldy. So this guy here did. I was kind of watching them, but I had them stacked on top of each other, to be honest, and that probably wasn't the best ideal environment. They needed a little air circulation so that they wouldn't get moldy. But it's not too bad. I know I can work with them. The colors are still kind of there, so I'm not too worried. There is a little bit of curling because I think there's still a little bit of dampness in them, but that's okay too because it gives it dimension. You can see that the leaves are kind of sticking up already. So all I'm doing is gluing these guys down, and you kind of saw how this was sitting. And it's gonna kind of look like the turkey bottle that we did the last time. And then got his little body that's gonna go down here. So let's get these guys glued down. I'm cutting these stems off because otherwise they stick up and they won't allow the leaves to lay flat enough to stay glued down. Turn it over to the side where the veins are sticking out more. I've got my Elmer's glue, and I'm just gonna squeeze this on pretty light. Not that light, okay, this light. And kind of like that. Up here I didn't put the glue on the back so much because I wanted it to stick off the page. Just gonna leave that for a second while I get this guy done. Some glue on him. Not too much, because if you put too much it'll have a hard time drying and it might make it wrinkle even more. So you gotta hold it down for a second. So they actually get tacky enough where you can let them go and they won't try peeling off. So you're just layering them. I did 3 at the top, and then I did 2 more, well 3 more here like this. And then I'll have 1 more on top of that just to make it a little smaller. And I tried to make the colors change. A darker brownish yellow, lighter yellow with some red here with a little yellow. And then this guy was a little more kind of like this one, but a little greener even. Push that down, let it get stuck there. This guy's not. not wanting to stick as well. When you're all done, you can definitely put something heavy over this for a little while and just to let it stick. It's harder. I'll put him there. They're a little harder to pick up when they're so flat. See that? And then you could probably use some that are curling up a little bit. You just have to really hold them more. Try not to get them when they're too dry. Freshly fallen and then pressed would be the best way to do that, kind of like how I did. But if you're just putting something together really quick, you could do it that way. Alright, then I've got a little body. Kind of looks like a peanut shape. I just did this is going to be his head and that's his body. Cut it out. Okay. There we go. You see it coming together? Kind of like that. And I just used scrap pieces of paper that I had. Construction paper, scrapbook paper, whatever. The brown doesn't have to be exactly this color. It's kind of a tan what I had. I kind of liked it because for the demonstration, I think you can see it better on the camera. And then, oh, wait, let's glue it down here. About, yeah. Again, do it light enough so it dries quick. You want it to be gooey. So there's his little tail feathers and his body. Oh, I almost forgot something. So when you're doing this, you got these cute little sticks here from the, or stems from the leaves. And you can just kind of glue them down below. Eyeball them. You might need to cut them because they might be a little hard to break. But you can make little feet. Don't need to do it exactly like what you would normally see on a bird, but you could try to get close if you want to. Let's see. Oh. I'll do 2 for one side and 2 for the other side. So you could glue them on like that. For this, how that's so thin and might be a little harder to do, just do a dot kind of where you might want it. And Elmer's glue dries clear, so it'll look good afterwards. Put that leg there. guy. And we'll get that glue down on that one. I should probably do a little further. There's a spot on this where it's kind of bigger. So I want to make sure that that stays on there. And then just get these little guys. And you can adjust them with something. Make sure that they're staying where you want them. I'm not too picky. There. That's cute now. Let's make sure this head is staying down. I got lots of glue that's getting dried up here, so that'll take a minute. So then I did make a little beak. I call it a gobbler, but I put the beak on, put the gobbler over that. I made a little comb for the top of his head, and then I have Google eyes to give him a little character. So I'll probably glue it on just like that. To do the beak, it was just kind of a, thinking shapes. So it was a triangle. I'll do it over here so I can use this paper again. Triangle with a little line underneath it, or a little bit of an arc. And then I put two little lines. That would be where he breathes through. And then cut it out. And for these guys, you can see how I did them here. For the gobbler, it was like this, kind of a teardrop shape, I think, like that. It kind of reminds me of a gourd. Then I did a comb, which was just a few bumps like that, and then finished it off like that. So easy enough. Let's glue these guys down here real quick. Closed it. Remember to close your glue when you're all done. My eyes might be a little harder to stick because they don't have sticky backs. Oh, we'll see. Maybe if I get enough glue on them. So in this case, you might need more glue. But with the papers, you don't so much. Sometimes they also end up curling and bubbling. Get his beak. And so not as much glue. That was probably too much. There. You can see that. there's our turkey. I have another project to do, and it is the corn with beads. Excuse me, you can use it for a decoration for Thanksgiving or just for fall even. I'm gonna set this aside. Maybe I'll put something on top of, well, maybe on top of here like this. But you gotta set it straight down, and then watch out for these if you did what I did, because you don't want the glue getting on other things. And I'll post the picture in the comment, or I'll probably have it on the front page again. And I'll probably put the corn on there too once I get all that. Okay. If for some reason you end up not having the leaves, you can do this again too. Get the leaves from the dollar store, wherever. Lay them out like you did, like we did before. Have your cutout of your turkey. Probably right there. But you get the idea. They've got all kinds of different colors and stuff at the store. And they might even be on sale by now if you get them somewhere else. So this is the corn project, and we're going to start with 1 green pipe cleaner, 3 yellows. And if I can remember this correctly, you're going to take and cross them and bend them away from each other. So the green's going to go on one side, and you're bending them in half. Try to get this guy in half too, so you can kind of measure that by, I've got everything lined up. Just hold them all together, and then pull here. And just remember, these are kind of pokey, kind of like a little, like a thorn or something. That's how they feel. Okay, then you're going to twist the corn part a little bit. 1, 2 times maybe. So the corn is on here pretty well. And you've got, you know, yes, 6 strands. They were hiding. Okay, 6 strands here after you took the 3 and bent them. This one you have 2 strands. This is going to be the leaves or the corn husks. All you're going to do is, and you know what, actually I would even make them uneven. Just a little, that's okay. So I've got about 1 inch difference. And then you just fold it down on itself. Pull it to a point. And then I kind of made it go out a little bit. So I bent this out, and then I made it come back in. So it kind of looks like a leaf there. Same thing on this side. Bend it in half. Pull it till you get a crease there. And then pull these apart. And then you're just pulling each side, and then you pull it together. So you've got 2 leaves. Then what I did is I bent them up like this. So they're right next to the corn pieces that we're gonna make. So you can see they're different sizes. And then I kind of wrap them around the bottom so they would stay up. They might twist a little, that's okay too. So they're kind of around your corn stalk now, and they're really shouldn't be going anywhere. And that's what that looks like. Then you're going to start adding your beads to it. So what I have is carefully a bunch of these little beads that were at the Dollar Tree. This was the package. There's 400 of them in there. I got 2 packages and I picked out all the ones that I wanted to use. Actually, I think I used these in this Beaded Spider before too. So I used the colors of Indian corn basically. I had orange, purple, white, and yellow. And you just start putting them all kind of randomly because that's how corn grows on each strand. And you keep going until you fill them all up. So you can see how that's getting started. Then, here's what I was working on before so I could show you. Got them all on there. Left this one for the demonstration. So, if anybody has any history on Indian corn and why it was grown as opposed to the regular corn that we get to see, I think that it's a good fall decoration. I've never eaten it though. I do have a little bit of Indian in me, but we never did that as a tradition. Okay, so they're all kind of filled up, and it's okay if they're not exactly the same amount on each one. You can see the bottom there. Make sure it's all pushed down. And then you can kind of scrunch some of them in a little. And pull up the longer ones so they're kind of equal. So what you're aiming for is to kind of get it to open up a little like that, so it looks like a little corn. So you just twist it at the top. Corn kind of looks like that. When it's all at the towards the end there, it gets smaller. You can bend it over if it starts getting too much there, or you can cut it off with some wire cutters or strong scissors. But there, we'll mess with it a little just to make it look good. Here's your corn. Put the leaves there. There. Hope that's a good shot for you. Kind of cute. You could even, if you wanted to make a table marker for a name marker, you could even make a little card up at the top and kind of stick it in there, and then it would hold it. Alright, thanks for doing some art with me today, and you have a nice fall holiday season and happy Thanksgiving. Like us, put your comments down below, and as always, show us your work. Take care.